Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and the dev note for Marvel Future Fight has landed. And it's a doozy. It's pretty long, and it covers a bunch of different game modes. So I want to go through it step by step with you guys and talk about what I think and how I feel and my reaction to it. And then you can give me your feedback in the comments down below. I strongly urge you, I recommend that you not only watch the video, of course it also supports me, but also to leave your feedback in the comments, because I imagine that the devs will be looking at content creator videos, not only myself, but other people like Beast Mode, Forgo, etc., and seeing how the community is reacting to these developer notes. I don't know if you should necessarily use my like or dislike button as your reaction to the actual notes, but I think leaving comments, they can scroll through. I can heart the ones that I think are the best and the most, popular. And then they can sort of get a grasp, get an idea for whether we like these developer notes or not. Because the sense that I've gotten immediately, the sense that I've gotten from these developer notes is that this is just the tip of the iceberg, and that they are, it's sort of like an iceberg made of clay, but the clay is still wet. So these are not things that are set in stone. I think this is just their way of trying to feel out how we feel about the game and throwing ideas out at us and sort of a general idea of what they want to do and see if we like it. So I think at this point, and I hope that we as players still have a reasonably high degree of influence on, I said that weird, influence on what happens. So I hope that these dev notes are not set in stone, because, well, you'll see. So greetings, agents. We sincerely thank all our agents who shared their opinions on Marvel Future Fight last month, as we've already shared the top 10 results of the feedback event. So those were the voting that we talked about, timeline battle number 1, world boss number 2, etc. We, the development team, would also like to answer the questions our agents asked the most. So this is sort of what we said when we voted these game modes as number 1, number 2, number 3, etc. So here's what players said about timeline battle. Here's some common feedback and requests for timeline battle. Improve repetitive gameplay. I think that's true, and I think what the repetitive gameplay refers to is that when you go into timeline battle and you refresh, and actually I don't think I can refresh because all of my attempts for the day are done, but if you go ahead and you look at the top teams, there is very little difference. You have so many teams that are identical because there is no restriction and there's no influence and there's no reason to change teams. So you have 1 or 2 characters that are on every single team. Every single team has Jean Grey and Colossus, or Silver Surfer and Colossus, and then you just cycle through one other character. So yes, that's a huge part of it. So you have to improve the repetitive gameplay. Okay, add a real-time PvP system. I personally think that this is impossible for Marvel Future Fight. I am one of the old players that remembers when they tried real-time PvP, and I think there's still a YouTube video up that you can look at. It was a disaster. It was so laggy and it was awful. It was just complete garbage. So I have let go of the part of me that wanted a real-time PvP for Marvel Future Fight, and I just accept the fact that we're probably never going to get it. Now, again, this doesn't mean that they're going to give us these things. This is just what we wanted. And then we also asked for improving the character ban system, which I completely agree. Like, for example, I tweeted out today, why the hell has Hulk, who recently got his tier 3, why has he been banned for the 2nd week in a row? It makes absolutely no sense. Also, it makes no sense to ban characters like Luna Snow and Odin and Human Torch, sorry Dory, because they're never used in PvP. They're never used in timeline battle. But anyways, remove skill cooldown times at the start of a battle. I'm kind of indifferent to this. I've gotten used to it. A lot of players feel as though the skill cooldown for you at the beginning of the fight is unfair because the enemy doesn't have their skill cooldown set. So, for example, you start off the fight as Jean Grey, you can't use your 5th skill, but the enemy Jean Grey can use her 5th skill right at the beginning. So you feel unfair, you lose your first life, etc. Other players have gone, in the other direction, and they now think that that is what sort of balances the PvP game mode, because unlike other games or turn-based games, being able to use your skills first, especially against an AI opponent in Marvel Future Fight, makes the fights kind of trivial, kind of too easy. And so they sort of see that as the sort of built-in handicap. So I don't really care either way. I don't think it's going to have a huge impact on PvP, on timeline battle, but okay. Avoid lower level agents matched with higher level agents. I absolutely agree. This isn't really lower level agents. It's not really about your agent level or your shield level. It's about, being a new player and not having any tier 3s and not having good cards because you're a new player and you've been playing for a week, and you queue up into Bronze League And there's, okay, first of all, there's not that many players playing Marvel Future Fight, so if maybe you want to improve that by making the game better, that would be great. But if you just go into bronze and you look, I mean, these are tier 3, you know, these are full tier 3 teams, right? There's nothing to stop players from this. So this means that at a core level, on a very fundamental level, there's something wrong with the ranking system. And there's something wrong with the league ranking system. And there's something wrong with this very antiquated system of bronze, silver, gold, platinum, vibranium. Now, again, whether the devs are going to acknowledge that and change that on a fundamental level, I don't know. But they did acknowledge that this is true. And yeah, it is. My free-to-play account was ridiculous. I was routinely facing, I would have 2 or 3 really easy matches against 1-star characters that you automatically win because it's just a bot. It's not a real account. The names are like Jim and Bob and Sarah. Like, they're just fake names. They're not real accounts. And then once you beat those for the day, you start getting real players. And it's usually players with level 70 teams. And for a brand new player, for your brand new account, you don't have level 70s. You can't compete. And then improve the rewards. This is a theme throughout the dev notes. Every single game mode has improved rewards. I really hope the devs are realizing that every single game mode needs better rewards. It's not a coincidence, guys. That lady, the other commentator who was in there, Ginny, she was chastising the lady who was chastising the Marvel Future Fight developer, the executive developer. She kept going and chastising him about rewards. Yeah, it's not a coincidence. Okay, so here's what they go on to say, and this is where I start to sort of feel funny. Majority of players playing Timeline Battle are agents who play occasionally, so not every day, to receive basic rewards, and agents who play diligently to reach top ranks. So let me just put this into plain English. What they're essentially saying is that Timeline Battle is made up of very casual players and very hardcore players, which is true of most PvP in most games. Because if you want to win in PvP and actually take it seriously, you have to become a hardcore player. There's really no middle ground, right? You either lose and you hate the feeling of losing and you just give up and you become a casual player and you just sort of play and close your eyes or whatever, or you play the minimum amount that you need and then you back out and you go and do something else. Or you play and you lose and you hate losing, but you have that passion or that fire, or you just particularly interesting to you to push on ahead. I just bopped my microphone. But you want to just push on ahead, and so you dive into being a top ranked player, or you dive into being a serious player. So although I agree with this assertion, I don't think it's unique to Marvel Future Fight. This is just most PvP games, right? People play shooters casually or they play it seriously. There's not much of a middle ground for PvP games and PvP game modes. We have concluded that, so this is what I don't like. They're already making conclusions and they're already coming to decisions before we even know what's going to happen. So I'm not really a big fan of this kind of wording. But anyways, we have concluded that changing the game rules to satisfy a small portion of our players will create unnecessary pressure on the other types of players. So, okay, here's the thing that I dislike. First of all, I feel like this is targeted at players like me and other hardcore players. That's what I feel like, first of all. Second of all, if it's not targeted to players like me, then it's targeted to casual players. And I don't like that either, because it's not fair to say that, you know, we're not going to do anything to help this type of player. You should do something to help both types of players. There's always a good compromise for both types of players, right? This is not, listen, Marvel Future Fight is not some puzzle, some enigma game that's impossible to fix. You guys make it sound like this game is unfixable. No, it's not that hard to fix. Just stop being lazy and pull your head out of your ass, right? Just look at other games and what they're doing right for PvP and just implement those things. It's very simple. So this thing actually bothers me quite a lot. Unnecessary pressure on the other types of players. So they only identify 2 types of players. So again, you're really left with the coin flip of, are they talking about casual players or are they talking about veterans and hardcore players? Okay, so there's that. Then secondly, either way, they're admitting that they're going to be shafting and they're going to be screwing over one portion of players because they don't want to, right? We've concluded that changing this will cause unnecessary pressure. So if you don't change it, then you're just telling those other players that you're not going to change anything for, that they just have to live with whatever you do. So again, I really dislike this kind of language. I really hope that they are not trying to, you know, just sweep this under the rug. Anyways, again, really simply, guys, Timeline Battle, Timeline Battle could exist with different brackets, right? You could have the bronze, silver, gold brackets, but you have 2 different timeline battles. This is a really easy way to fix timeline battle. Are you ready, guys? So you still have your bronze, silver, gold, whatever. So you have to rank up, right? As you play better and you get better rewards, you rank up. But instead of just having this one station here with 1 queue, you have 2. The first queue is you can use your gear, you can use your obelisks, your ISO 8 sets, your Uru, your cards. The second one, you don't use your own, you use your character, but it's not going to look at your, it's going to ignore, it's not going to look at your character's obelisk or cards or ISO 8 set or Uru. Why does that matter? Because it matters for casual players. Casual players who don't have hours to spend grinding out content, they don't have money to throw at the game to build up CTPs and stuff like that, they can still compete in that ungeared, we can call it ungeared PvP. And then the other PvP where you get to use all of your stuff, that can be for whales and players who have all day long to play like me. That's your geared PvP. Wow, guys, look, I just fixed PvP in Marvel Future Fight. How crazy was that? I don't create any unnecessary pressure for other types of players, and I'm not a giant windbag. How crazy. Okay, so anyways, I don't know. I don't know what to say about this. We definitely agreed timeline battle needs to be improved. It needs to be overhauled, not improved, overhauled. It needs to be completely changed from top to bottom. Everything needs to change. Gameplay, restrictions, quality, rewards. This is not a small thing, guys. This is another thing that I don't like about the dev note. They don't seem to grasp the magnitude. Pop. They don't seem to grasp the magnitude of some of these changes. They make it sound like, oh, your glass, oh, this is timeline battle. Oh, okay. So, we haven't changed this in 3 years. Timeline battle. Oh, okay. We know what to do. Here you go. Here you go. There you go. Timeline battle's done. All fixed. Boom. We're out of here. Here's to 5 more years of Marvel Future Fight. Cheers, guys. We did our job. Okay. So anyways, here's what they say. We are planning to add a new league for those who aim for the top ranks to address this issue. That does not, I don't know they say address this issue. What issue? Timeline battle is not going to be solved by adding ultra platinum or ultra vibranium. That's not going to address the issue. It's going to continue the issue. The issue is all of those things that I stated. So creating one more league on top of it, I don't know what, like, guys, that's not going to fix anything. By the way, in Marvel Future Fight terms, a league is this shit. These are the leagues, guys. See this? These are the leagues. See, league guide? They're saying adding an extra league. That doesn't fix anything. That doesn't fix anything. You guys are seriously antiquated. You sound like boomers. You sound like Ajoshi and Ajuma. You don't know how to play. You don't know what this game needs. I'm sorry, but you don't. Adding a new league is the last thing that this game needs. This new league will have different rules and methods of play. Okay, that's fine, but what about all of the rest of the stuff, right? What about the rewards? What about the ban lists? What about, you know, players meeting the wrong players and this huge power gap? You're not addressing any of that stuff. A new league doesn't address the power gap at all. Only the highest ranking agents in previous timeline battle records will be participating. You know what this sounds like, guys? Do you know what this sounds like? This sounds like, hey guys, we're gonna create Super Vibranium. And in order to get Super Vibranium, you have to be in the top 100 for timeline battle. Only the top 100 will be able to get to Super Vibranium, where we're gonna give you a little bit more rewards. Now, ask yourself, how do you get to top 100? Some players can get to top 100 if they're lucky, because all of their strongest characters are randomly chosen for the recommended. So let's say I had tier 3 Jean Grey and tier 3 Silver Surfer in my recommended. I'm suddenly getting an extra 10 points for every victory. That's RNG based. Do you know how other players make it to top 100? Do you know how OK567 and Deadman Walking got to rank 1 and rank 2? Why? They pay for extra wins. You can see here OK is at 40 wins, even though you're only allowed 10 wins without buying more. And then we have this person here with 20 wins. So here's how you get to our brand new league, guys. This is supposed to fix timeline battle. The brand new league where you just press this button as many times as possible, and then you can be in the top 100. So yeah, I'm obviously not optimistic about this because the language sucks. This sounds like garbage. This doesn't sound like anything we wanted. No one was asking for a high-ranking league. No one was saying, nobody wanted this. Who said, excuse me, where here Did you guys get the impression from these notes that we want some sort of high-ranking timeline battle league? We need the whole shit. We need the whole timeline battle to get fixed, not just the highest ranking one. With this new league update, we will investigate the previous timeline battle matchmaking system. Okay. To solve mismatch in levels and also address the rewards issue. You see what I mean? They spend so much time talking about something that we don't even want. This sounds like they're just trying to monetize timeline battle even more. So they're like, okay, this is just a bunch of garbage. This is just a bunch of garbage that we were planning to do anyways. And then this is actually the stuff that you guys asked for. Over here, down here at the bottom, in one sentence. This is the stuff you guys actually wanted. So this is pretty yikes. Again, I agree with all the stuff here. I agree with what agents have been saying. Players. I agree with this here. I don't agree with this. I sincerely hope that this is a joke, because this is exactly not what we need. But anywho, let's see what else the dev note has. World boss. Here are some common feedback. Add new bosses. Sure. Add a new mode that only allows certain characters. I don't care. Increase daily entrances. Sure. Like more plays per day. Sure. Improve striker settings. I don't care. Remove resistance system. I don't care. When I say, sorry, I don't mean to sound flippant, but when I say I don't care, it means that, you know, whether they change it or not, it's not going to impact my experience. I am going to just try and adapt to whatever new thing it is that they're doing. What I'm saying by I don't care is basically I don't have a strong opinion one way or another. I don't think this is good or bad. It's too vague for me to comment on what it could be. Add a mid-animation skip function. Sure. Again, doesn't matter to me. And then improve rewards. So by and large, I feel like the world boss stuff, the game mode stuff sounds good, but everything else besides rewards just, you know, could be good, could be bad. So they apologize for frequently changing world boss, and then they go on to explain how they're going to change world boss. So again, completely mixed signals. Okay, they're developing new bosses and a new difficulty mode. Okay. Let's keep reading. The new difficulty mode will have different character striker rules than the beginner, normal, ultimate difficulties. Okay, so let me just remind you guys. Currently, the beginner difficulty, you can go and see for yourself, but the beginner difficulty is like you have to bring in what? It has to be at least like a 5-star character, like you know, and then for normal mode, you have to have at least 3. I think normal mode is just whatever. I honestly think the beginner and normal mode are exactly the same. There are no rules or restrictions. And then for ultimate mode, you have to have at least 3 6-star characters. I don't even think you need to, or maybe you have to have some tier 2s and you have to play story mode. So it's not like they're not talking about restriction. Anyways, we'll see what they mean. But they're saying that they will have different character striker rules in the beginner, normal, ultimate difficulties. In my opinion, right now, normal, beginner, and ultimate don't have any rules have barely any rules. The rules are inconsequential, basically is what I'm saying. The new difficulty is planned to become a major mode for tier 3 and potential awakened characters. So this sounds like it's a new difficulty in terms of new challenge and a new spike in difficulty. I am interested, but I'm confused because stage 99 is already really hard for most characters. Now, it's very easy for some characters, for a very small subset of characters that have very high all defense down, like Deadpool, but it's not really difficult. It's like either you have the right stuff or you don't. It's like a shelf that's really, really high up. Either you have a ladder to climb up, or you have a freakishly long arm, or you just can't reach it. But it's not actually difficult. It's not actually challenging. Do you see what I'm saying? There are some challenging bits here and there in the different fights. There are some patterns that you have to dodge or you have to maneuver through that can be challenging. Thanos probably has most of those maneuvers that you have to do, where you dodge his meteor strike, you dodge the slam where the waves come in the little X patterns. But by and large, the problem with world boss is that they've only scaled it based on HP and all defense down. So you just have tons of HP on the boss and you just apply tons of all defense down. So I'm a little bit skeptical to how they're going to make this new difficulty. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, I don't mind it. I don't think we necessarily needed it, but sure. We expect the difficulty created by the resistance system in ultimate difficulty can be lessened by the addition of a new difficulty. So it sounds as though they may be making the ultimate difficulty a little bit easier when they introduce this new world boss. I'm not sure, but yeah. We continue to plan on improving convenient functions such as skipping world boss berserk animations. Sure. Lastly, a new reward system is in development for higher difficulties. That sounds good, rewarding players who, you know, climb to a higher difficulty. We will do our best to reflect our agents' opinions for this mode. Yeah, sure. I'm not... Yeah, okay. World Boss, I don't have, like, high, you know, opinions about this, but we'll see. We'll see. Danger Room. Here are some feedback and requests for Danger Room. Add a new boss, sure. Add a new mode that only allows certain characters. Again, I'm not really sure where this is coming from. I don't know who is asking for this. And a mode that only allows certain characters. I feel like players wouldn't ask for this. Honestly, if you had to ask me, are there players out there who want to use less characters? And, you know, this sounds like the opposite, right? What you hear from players is, I want to use all my characters. I want to use my whole roster. Not force me to use Jean Grey. Force me to play as the same 5 characters. Anyways. Fix matching errors and server issues, sure. Remove Danger Room from daily missions, that's hilarious. Ability to use any character. So this completely flies in the face of this, right? Doesn't that seem strange that these two ideas contradict each other? Anywho, reduce playtime. I think Danger Room is fine. Some weeks it's a little bit slow and you have really long matches, but okay. Improve the matchmaking system for rank and normal. Sure, that's fine. Improve rewards, as always. When extreme mode was first introduced, so they're giving us a peek into what extreme mode is supposed to be. So this is actually quite interesting for me. We get to see what they intended for the extreme mode, which, by the way, has been in preparation for several months. So let's take a look at this here. It was intended, it was intended to allow players to use any characters. So this is what I suspected from extreme mode, is that you'd be able to use your characters, aka any character. It also has a separate ranking system and rewards, so possibly better rewards, and it requires much more complex team strategy. I imagine it requires much more complex team strategy because you can't just bring in like 3 Silver Surfers and expect to win, because you're gonna have to do certain things, or you're gonna have to apply certain buffs or debuffs. Maybe one character has to use a fracture skill, one character has to use a stun, sort of like how in story mode it says like press this skill to interrupt Loki, or press that skill to interrupt the boss, or whatever. And so you'd have to sort of bring those skills and understand that you need a certain number of abilities before, like, you're gonna need someone with a bleed skill, you're gonna need someone. These are the kinds of things we need to see in Marvel Future Fight. So hopefully that's what they meant by it. And you know, yeah, hopefully. Extreme mode is currently unavailable. Sure, should open soon. This is what I don't like. They don't tell us should open soon. What do you mean should open soon? You guys have put it in the game for like 3 or 4 months now, dangling it in front of us without telling us anything, and now you're telling us it should be open soon. Can we have any sort of ETA on this? Okay, as long as major problems do not arise during final development process. Okay, I understand that. Sure, major problems can arise. I appreciate the transparency. We are planning for normal mode to become simpler after extreme mode update. So this echoes a lot of what they're saying about the world boss stuff, right? Where they're saying that we're going to introduce a new harder difficulty and simultaneously make the old hardest difficulty easier. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I'm just not sure if this is the right way to send, like, this is the right way for the game to go. Anywho, some much requested new bosses are planned to be added gradually after extreme mode has been implemented. That's cool, like adding Apocalypse as a boss, etc. Since reducing playtime may result in frequent one-sided gameplay, yes, we are researching various improvement methods. This probably sounds like they're not going to do anything. Honestly, all they really have to do to reduce playtime is they need to play their game a little bit and balance things a little bit more, because sometimes you have weeks like this that are really good because of the combination of characters, where you can go for like a surefire strategy where you use Thanos and Captain America and you try to put more just consistent damage, or you go for a more one-shot team like I did that video with Silver Surfer, Captain Marvel, Captain America, and Sharon Rogers, and you try for something a little bit more risky. Other weeks, like the week before this with Mr. Fantastic, you just have a bunch of dud characters who really don't do that much damage. That also comes down to character balancing, where some characters have just been bad for a long time, and the devs just don't fix those characters. So yeah, maybe they just need to figure that out. And anyways, we will also focus on finding ways to reduce gameplay time when simplifying normal mode. So okay, it sounds to me like they're trying to, you know, it sounds to me like multiple game modes. They're going to be introducing a new difficulty level for them. You know, for Timeline Battle, there's a new difficulty league. For World Boss, there's a new difficulty mode. For Danger Room, there's Extreme mode. And then they're going to simplify and casualize the previous hardest difficulty. Again, I'm not sure if this is what the game needs, and I worry that this is just going to end up being a big waste of time. That's sort of the feeling in my gut, that it's going to be a big waste of time, and casual players are going to feel the same way that they felt about the game before, and hardcore players are going to vomit in their mouths and just leave the game in droves if they haven't already left. And then the hardcore veterans are just going to, you know, have their head in their hands. So I hope I'm wrong, but the idea of sort of making something a little bit harder and then making everything else way easier, I'm not sure that sends the right message to players. Why not keep things at difficulty that they're at and add something? Why do you have to make things easier at the same time as you're making other things harder? I'm not really sure. The game is not known for being difficult. This game is not a Dark Souls type game. It's not that hard. Anywho, in regards to the matching system and server issues with trouble to agents, we will continue to monitor closely. Sure, this is just fluff. They're not going to do it. This is just fluff. If you have a bad connection, you have bad Wi-Fi, they can't do anything for you. Alliance Conquest. This one blows me away. Here are some common feedbacks and requests for Alliance Conquest. So apparently, remember, Alliance Conquest was number 4. Apparently, this is what people were requesting for Alliance Conquest. New league. I have literally never heard a single soul ask for a new league in Alliance Conquest. There are no leagues in Alliance Conquest. Alliance Conquest is just one big smorgasbord of players. Now, if you get to a certain rank, you get a pretty little border. That's it. Obviously, the game, when it's matching up 3 alliances, it tries to find alliances around your rank, but those are not leagues. There's literally only one league. Okay, but sure, someone out there in space is asking for new leagues. Improve the character filter. Sure, that's a quality of life change. That's not a game mode change. Reduce playtime. Yes, a lot of players hate Conquest because you have to sit on your phone for 2 hours 3 times a day for 4 days. You're absolutely insane if you think that anyone wants to do that, right? They're masochists. Add a defense info system. Sure, more information about attacks and defenses, that would help. Add a preset system. Kind of sounds like the first one, improving the character filter, but yeah, I can see how preset teams would help to sort of, you know, hasten the ability to attack certain zones and set up your teams faster, and so you don't have to constantly set up the same 3 characters that you're using for this is my strike team, this is my stall team, whatever. Improve the rewards. Oh, of course, Marvel Future Fight, improve the rewards. Wait a minute. Oh, okay, yeah, Danger Room had improved the rewards as well. Okay, we are currently working on adding a high rank. Tell me if this sounds familiar, by the way. We are currently working on adding a high rank league in Alliance Conquest exclusively for alliances that have shown a certain elevated level of performance. Let me just scroll back up here real quick here. What does this say? We are planning to add a new league for those who aim for the top ranks. This new league will have different rules, and only the highest ranked agents in previous timeline battle records will be participating. This sounds like the exact same thing that they want to do for timeline battle, and this is garbage. You are creating leagues for like what? A handful of players? A handful of teams? This does not affect the majority of players. Let's continue reading. The current Alliance Conquest will be simplified in order to promote more alliances to participate, and the new high rank league will encourage alliances to play more strategically in the high rank league. We have absolutely no idea what this means. I hope that this means you can play manually. You can, maybe if you can't play manually, you can set what skills your character does. Listen, Marvel Future Fight. This is one of the problems I have with these dev notes, is that the core issues, the fundamental problems with the game modes are not being addressed. And it leads me to wonder, I'm left wondering, do the devs actually know why nobody plays Conquest? Now, when I say nobody plays Conquest, what I'm trying to say is not very many people play Conquest. And you can find out how many people play Conquest by playing Conquest yourself. Because if you take a long ass break from Conquest with your alliance and you guys skip like a month or 2 or 3, your rank just drops. But watch what happens when you play for 1 week and you win. Suddenly your rank skyrockets and you're suddenly in the top 500, which means there are less than 500 alliances currently playing. And we already know that multiple alliances create multiple other alliances so that they can gang up on other alliances, because the 1v1v1 game mode is just the perfect opportunity for people to cheat and to just be sucky people, right? To just gang up 2v1. So that's the problem with Alliance Conquest. The problem is that nobody plays because of the fundamental issues with Conquest. It's not because we don't have a new league, right? People aren't avoiding Conquest because there's just one league. Like, guys, come on, really. look in the mirror. Have a dose of reality. Conquest is bad because you don't have any control over your characters. Sure, you get to set your teams, and there's some strategy there, and there's timers and blah blah blah, and there's buffs, and oh my god, there's boosts, and oh wow, whoop-de-doo. Most players don't care about that. It's honestly, it blows me away how casual the Marvel Future Fight devs want to make every other game mode except for Conquest. For Conquest, they want it to be as convoluted and as ugly and as opaque as possible, right? Nobody plays Conquest. Every time you make a Conquest video, any YouTuber, any content creator makes a Conquest video, it does terribly. Nobody watches those videos. Nobody cares about Conquest, right? It's an extremely small group of players, and that's who they're catering to. They're catering to an extremely small group of players. And it blows me away because then on the flip side, for Timeline Battle, they say that they don't want to do that. We have concluded that changing the game rules to satisfy a small portion of our players will create unnecessary pressure. Okay, but you're gonna waste all this dev time monkeying around with Conquest for a small portion of players. Okay, so yeah, I'm disappointed. I was hoping to see more about Conquest. I want to play Conquest. I want to enjoy Conquest, but I just cannot enjoy Conquest because it's a Barbie. It's literally the purest form of Barbie simulation. It is a Beyblade battle. Do you know what a Beyblade battle is? For all you Zoomers, you don't know Beyblades, but Beyblades, it's this little thing, it's this little top, and you put it on a ripcord, and you pull the ripcord, and the Beyblade drops into a little dome, into a little like a bowl, and there's another Beyblade from another person, and then the Beyblades just spin around, and maybe they hit each other, and maybe they don't, and maybe you win, and maybe you don't, but it's completely, say it with me now, random. And that's why most players just stay away from Conquest, because it is almost completely random. It's not completely random, but it's almost completely random. And even if it's just 50% random, that's way too much. That's way too much. So that's what needs to be fixed about Conquest, not a league. This is just buffoonery. So yeah, and we'll see how they're going to simplify Alliance Conquest. If they make Alliance Conquest like a 1-day thing or a 2-day thing where you have 24 hours to attack instead of these goofy 2-hour windows like I have all day long to just sit at my phone waiting for a command, waiting for a message, hey guys, it's time to attack. Yeah, you're dreaming. You're absolutely dreaming. Other quality of life improvements such as improving character selection and adding defense info are planned to be added. That's good. As part of players' requests, we are looking into improving rewards for these leagues. Of course. Please look forward to our future updates. Sure. Shadowland. Here are some common feedbacks and requests. Add an exclusive store. Yes! Yes! Game roster rules. Add new floors. Yes! Yes! Rewards. Improve rewards. Yes. Okay, let's see what they say. Since adding new floors may result in increasing playtime or making players feel exhausted. Okay, that's weird. We are very cautious on proceeding in this direction. What do you mean? What, aren't we supposed to play the game? What? This blows me. This is like, hey guys, we're trying to make a casual game for complete noobs and 5-year-olds and soccer moms. So we don't want to add new floors because this game is for soccer moms. Okay. However, we agree that further improvements are necessary. And the reward system is also under inspection for improvement. Okay, that's a weird way of saying that. We have also discussed adding a feature to exchange tokens for items. Yes. As many agents have requested. Okay. But we have decided that acquiring rewards immediately after completing stages will be more helpful than requiring agents to exchange tokens for items. Please let us know if agents prefer the store method. What? Are they on drugs? Are they actually serious? Okay, so here are some common feedback and requests. So this is what the players are asking for at a store. We are discussing adding a feature to add a store, but we decided that we don't... What? So the players ask for the store, and then the devs are like, okay, listen, we know you want the store, but you're wrong. We have decided that you actually would... You don't know what you want. What you want is to just acquire rewards immediately. Nobody wants to acquire rewards immediately, Marvel Future Fight. The rewards you guys give suck. They suck. Nobody wants to acquire a 5-star obelisk and 30 uniform upgrade kits. Do you know why the rewards suck? Because you made better rewards in a place where you can just exchange them. Do you know why everybody loves dimension missions? Do you know why nobody complained when you guys accidentally or on purpose completely screwed up the dimension mission rewards and contribution numbers? You remember that? When you introduced stage 15 as some sort of new difficulty that was supposed to be harder, and it was crap anyways, and nobody cared. Because you know why they didn't care? Because this was still amazing. This is amazing. Everyone loves this. Nobody hates this. My videos on this always kill. This is the best. This is like one of the best things you guys have ever done. Please, what is wrong with you? How do you guys not see this? How do you guys actually think that we don't want to store? This is the bomb.com. This is everything. This is so good. And you know what? Now that I say that out loud, when they talk about adding a new difficulty or adding some, you know, tacked on thing, whatever, it sounds exactly like what they did with dimension missions. Remember, we got so hyped because they were like new difficulty, new challenge coming. And all they did was double or triple the boss's HP. And they called that new difficulty. I hope not. I hope not. So anyways, yeah, you guys are smoking serious rocks if you think that we don't want to store. Watch the comments in this video. Everybody wants to store, trust me. Character reworks and new characters. And then, yeah, they basically talk about Odin. Yes, Odin. Oh, yeah, this is actually important. Odin, who was the #1 character selected for the 5-year anniversary, is in the final stages of rework and will be revealed to our agents soon. So, yeah, this pretty much confirms Odin is getting a uniform and possibly, probably, most likely a tier 3. So if you want a tier 3 Odin, you better start busting your ass and saving your CCF, because he's going to cost 1600 CCF. Hopefully they will also give away Odin for free, because they used to. Looking forward, Dormammu, Ghost Rider, and other characters who received many votes will also be a part of our rework plan. Yes, yes, preach. I love that. I love that. Yes, thank you. We are happy to add characters that agents requested, and the top ranked characters in the new character request vote are being examined in the order in which they were voted. So they'll be looking at characters, and hopefully they'll be adding at least like the top 5 characters. So we should expect Sentry coming into the game, Havoc coming into the game later this year, possibly early next year, depending on the pipeline of updates that are already set. There are other topics and opinions that are frequently mentioned in our communities we are discussing as a team. Listen. These are the topics and opinions. We need more daily crystals. More ways to get crystals by playing the game, like playing GBR, playing World Boss, playing other game modes. We need 2 obelisk slots for every character so that you can equip multiple obelisks and switch between them. Not use them at the same time, but switch between them. And we need ways to re-roll comic cards. Every player on the planet agrees with this. We need ways to individually roll the options so I can keep the physical attack and keep the energy attack and change the recovery rate. I know you guys like making tons of money, millions of dollars off of players who don't know any better or who are desperate to go over here and go over here and click on this, but enough is enough. Enough is enough. If you don't want this game to die, enough is enough. Okay? There's milking, and then there's too much milking. You guys have gone way beyond too much milking. We will cover this. This is the good part. We will cover this in a future developer note, as this will be an ongoing process for us to communicate more with the community. Awesome, thank you. We are grateful for agents' opinions, and we look forward to the next developer note update. Thank you. Until then, please continue to share feedback. So I think I shared a lot of feedback. This video is like 40 minutes long. Sorry. There's a mixture of worry. Honestly, I'm like 30% hopeful, 25% confused, and then 45% scared. Because although there are some good things here and there, and I'm really happy with what the community has said as far as most of the community feedback, except for Conquest, it's kind of confusing. I'm not really liking what the devs have taken from that. Their interpretation of what the players want does not seem to be what the players want. Especially when it comes to adding 1 extra difficult league and then making everything else easier. You're basically just it's just like you're just swapping cups. You're just swapping cups. You're not actually addressing the core issues with the game, and that's what needs to be done, guys. You guys need to. It's like you're just adding armor on top of your character. You're adding new armor and new paint on the character, but the organs inside, the stuff that makes the guy go, the stuff that makes the character move is rotting. You guys have to, I know it costs money, I know it costs developer time, I know it's going to be hard work for you, but it's your job. So just take the scalpel, make an incision, okay? Open up the guy and fix the inside. Fix the guts of the game. It's the guts of the game. It's the body. It's the organs of the game that need to be fixed. Not just adding a new league and then voila, everything's fine. So yeah, I really hope that we are going to see some amazing changes for this game. I really want this game to make a huge U-turn and you know, be what it's supposed to be and shine, because it's supposed to be a beautiful game. But if you're still spending money, now might be the time to put a pause on that and see what happens. You know, just maybe have a little bit of patience and see what happens, because yeah, I don't know. I'm not convinced. This does not convince me to spend money. This does not convince me to spend money. This gives me a little bit of hope. So yeah, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Sorry for such a long video, but I had to give you all my feedback and all of my brain ideas, because yeah, it's important. Thank you so much. I'll be reading all the comments. Have a wonderful day. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.